Call the meeting to order. Judge Lee is not here today. He's out of town. And we would turn and pledge of allegiance. Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this day and all your many blessings. We ask you to be with this court today and to do business. We ask that do not always do what's best in this county. We ask you to be with our state government, the federal government, guide them, and always be with them and help them make those good decisions for our country. Dear Heavenly Father, just be with us now, guide us and protect us. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Item 1, public comments or requests for information on non-agenda items in accordance with Section 551.042 Texas Open Meetings Act. Do we have anybody that wishes to speak publicly? Okay. Item 2, consider and possibly approve minutes from July the 25th, 2016 special meeting of the Commissioners Court.
Mr. Commissioner, I'd like to make a motion we approve the minutes of July 25th.
You got a motion?
Second.
Got a second? Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed. Item 3, consider and possibly approve minutes from July the 29th, 2016 special meeting of Commissioners Court.
I'd like to make a motion we approve those minutes of July 29th also.
Okay, I got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a second? Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right, item 4, consider engineering recommendation to possibly take action on providing annex restroom access for the adult probation. That was tabled with 7/25/16. Lynn?
Morning.
You should have in your packet a drawing produced for the hallway opening between the.
We don't have drawings.
How would you like to proceed? Would you like for me to take this up there? You guys can look at this, pass it around. I don't need it to look at.
Okay.
You could get copies of it made again.
Did you send that to Judge Blake?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Okay.
Is that microphone on?
No.
No.
There it is.
I'm not sure I understood all of that.
I don't have any.
That's okay.
I'm assuming he's got.
Okay. It'll take just a minute. We're going to make 4 copies.
Got signs out there now. They like 2 seconds. Then just. Isn't that right there across? That horse.
Everybody ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. As Commissioner Riddle said, some of this may or may not make sense to some of you, but it should make sense to whatever contractor does the work. But just a few things that I'd like to mention about this particular solution. And this is in no particular order. I guess the first thing is that it has been verified that there is a 1 foot change in elevation between the floor elevation of the annex and the floor elevation of the adult probation. The annex building is 1 foot higher than the adult probation. So if we cut a hole in the wall, we're going to have a 1 foot step up. We can do that in a couple of ways. We can do it with either a ramp or a step. And we didn't address that in the drawings, although we did make notes related to that change in elevation in our drawings and the use of either a ramp or a step. The step is the quickest, easiest, most affordable way to do it, but is not ADA compliant. And in talking through this with the judge, he said just draw it as a step for now. I have some concerns about that because if we ever have, and I don't know that the county currently has someone that's disabled that works over an adult probation that might actually need that ramp at some point in time to get to additional restrooms. But if that were the case, then that particular employee would have to go outside of the buildings and come around to the adult probation area to use those restrooms to be accessible if the restroom, the one restroom in the adult probation is occupied. So I will say that's not the best. The step is not the long-term best solution, but it should get you through, I would say in the short term. For us to put in a ramp, what that would require, because the ramp has to have a 1 in 12 slope, and that 1 in 12 slope puts the toe of the ramp in front of the existing door that goes into, I believe it's the jury deliberation room or something in the adult probation. So for that ramp to come down, it would be right in front of the door. So that's really not an option. The other way to do it would be to cut down the foundation of the intersection between the two buildings, take some of that down and have maybe half of the ramp inside the adult probation and then half of it inside the annex. There are ways to do it, but I'm just saying that what we're currently looking at is not, I would say, the final solution. Another thing about this is the hallway currently is 6'9" plus or minus, that's the width of it. The opening that's drawn here is 6'9". And you can see from the drawing that some of the repair work and reinforcing occurs outside of the 6'9" hallway, which means that some of the drywall and stuff like that will have to be demoed inside the new adult probation building just to be able to access the part of the masonry walls that are already there to conduct the repair. So there's going to be some demo other than just masonry work and other than concrete work in order to make this happen. There's what we call a lintel, it's a shelf angle, and on this drawing you can see it extend 9'7" overall. So that means at the top, some of the walls that tie into the building from from both the adult probation and the annex side have to be demoed. And that's not the best scenario either, but in order to get the full width of the hallway, that's what's going to be required. Another option might be to not use the full width of the hallway so that you don't have to demo those walls. And what you can do there is, instead of making the opening 6'9", you could possibly trim it down maybe 4 foot and do some things architecturally where that looks like maybe some columns on the side of the hallway to kind of show the difference in the spaces. But that's something else that you might want to consider. This design is good for up to 6'9" clear, but there's going to be some demo associated with 6'9" clear. If we want to go shallow or more narrow, say 4 foot, we won't have to demo any of the drywall on either the annex side or the adult probation. The step up, as I said, that can be something very simple, but it's not something that we designed at this point because we didn't really know which direction we wanted to go. And really, I think that's something that you can tell your contractor what you want him to do. He can just build a step or a ramp. It does need to have handrails and stuff like that to make that transition. The overall repair that's shown here involves angles. It involves drilling in bolts through the wall. And also a cover plate on those angles that's welded in place to just make it a clean space, clean transition.
What material will you use? Of steel?
Steel, yes, sir.
Is there ADA compliant about the width of a hallway?
A wheelchair, if it's just a wheelchair ramp, it's approximately 36 inches. And I want to be clear that I don't do ADA stuff every day of the week.
Yeah.
And whenever I say approximately 36 inches, that's in general terms, but I can promise you the ADA said it's got to be this much, and actually I believe it's 34. But it is less than the 4 feet, and it's considerably less than 6'9". So we can do something more narrow and make that line. The thing about that I'm not completely clear in my mind yet is if we do go with a more narrow ramp, should we offset it to one side? I know there's also a doorway on the south side of that corridor in adult probation. It's a storage closet at this point. And there would have to be some consideration as to where that is at. I think we probably want to adjust that opening more towards the north side of that corridor. If we do that, then the door into the jury room would have to be moved around the corner, because if we there's only one way to the storage room, and that's through the hallway and the storage room. And that hallway, or I should say the storage room, has no other wall that we can put a door in. As far as the jury room, we could move the door around the corner, so I have access to the jury room and extend it around. So there are some things that need to be figured out when the time comes to decide whether or not you want to go around in there. It's a little more than just cutting a hole in the wall at this point in order to make it compliant.
This is what you said, 6'9", and you're looking, at least put a 4-foot door in there, could we put a 5-foot one in there?
Well, the reason I said 4 foot, I just used round numbers.
Okay.
And you can see that you see 11 and 1/4 inches and then 1.5 inches at the top. And then you've also got the width of the angle that gives you the clear opening. So you've got about 1.5 feet on each side of the door that's going to have to, that the structure is going to have to be adjusted or installed 1.5 from the opening of the door. So if I had a 6'9", we might be able to cram it all in to say a 4 foot open. That's almost 7 feet less, 1.5 on each side. I think it's about 4 feet. I will say this also, that is if we go that route and want to put in a more narrow opening, if that opening, if you ever want to make that opening wider, then we've got to redo this all over again. It's going to be a different shoring process and different design basically to extend it. It'd be easier to extend it full width now instead of making it more narrow now and full width later. There's just going to be some demo associated with the walls.
It's easier to fill in than it is to,
Yes, sir, that's
Right
right.
now, yeah.
And I just wasn't sure as to what direction we wanted to go.
What, if you were doing it right, what width would you make that door?
I think I'd go ahead and make it full width of the hallway.
Okay.
That way, when and if the annex portion is ever extended or modified, you have a hallway that goes full width one to the other. The one thing I'm not sure about is if there would be any reason to have separation doors at that location. You may not want that hallway connecting adult probation to the annex. You may likely will want to be able to block those off at some point for secured access and things like that potentially. So if you're going to do that, I would probably recommend double doors, which is going to be a 6 foot wide opening to start with. So if you think a little ahead of the game as far as what the design might turn out to look like, I think I'd probably go with the wider opening now and do some selective demolition on those walls that are currently there on the adult probation side.
You're talking about half the ramp would have to be on the adult probation side would be built up, and the other on the annex would be cut down.
That's an option. And if we do that, we might be able to leave the, and I haven't said all that, but I think we can do that. If we do that, I think we can leave the door into the jury room where it's currently located.
That'd be 6 foot in each building, adult probation. You say it's 1 in 12?
Yep, yeah, that's pretty much what it amounts to. But if it turns out that we need to adjust it 8 foot in one and 4 foot the other, it gives some options. I will say that if that ramp is half in one and half in the other, that makes the door installation a little more tricky. But I think we can work. If we have just kind of general terms, if we have a ramp that's going up like an A like this, you can see how the doors down ramp can open this way, but they can't open up into the ramp. So as far as the doorways connecting the two spaces, having the transition at the building line, I think is the best scenario instead of doing it halfway up the ramp.
12 and
But it forces us to move the doors around to the side of the jury deliberation.
Okay, any other questions?
If you guys want to talk about this amongst yourselves or think about what you might want to do with it, you know, at some future day or whatever, I'll be glad to discuss any of these options.
No, this is what we needed to know. Of course, then I should discuss it with these guys, not you, but I mean, yeah, this is exactly what we needed.
Well, this is what the judge asked us to do, and we looked at the layout of the existing space, and we saw some issues that at least need to be thought about before we start cutting a hole.
Could you look at this and see what would be the best options and come back and present this to us?
I think the best option, so that you don't close yourself don't build yourself into a box or say, I wish we would have done this later, and possibly, I would say probably even for smoother operations from now on would be to build the ramp entirely in adult probation and move the door around the perimeter to make the wall opening large enough to put 2 double doors. That would be my recommendation, so you don't have to go backwards and rebuild in the future.
Okay.
What do y'all like to do? Him go and research this and bring us back, show us something that would have the ramp in it instead of the step?
We could draw a localized floor plan of that that shows the ramp, handrails, the whole 9 yards, relocation of doors. I think at the end of the day, the ramp probably does not need to be 6'9" wide at the full opening. For the same reason that we're going to have issues with the jury room door, we're going to have issues with the closet door. So because of that closet door needs to open up all the way on the south side, so I think the ramp probably needs to be plus or minus 4 feet. But we could actually have a transition area where we could have look at those dimensions close enough.
Glenn, you're saying maybe half ramp and half step down that 6'9".
Yeah.
Is that ADA compliant?
Then you'd have to have a rail going up.
Yeah.
Say
Yeah,
it.
the separators, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I
What
appreciate
does the
it.
court want to do?
Well, you know what I'd like to do? We just had Danny Woodson, judge, in here last week telling us that the annex had too many entrances and exits now. You told me you didn't think those adult probation should be going in there. However,
It should not be open.
should not be open. Well,
Should be secure.
anytime you got a door, entrance and an exit, there's nothing to keep somebody from putting a pistol in somebody's thing and go in it.
Yeah.
You got 5 or 6 doors, it's always a way to get in it.
One of the things about the potential renovation of the annex and security, I think, is at the top of everybody's thoughts.
Right.
And I would say you're exactly right. That would be have to be secured access, potentially.
Right.
You need to see bulletproof glass and that, lots of things that would need to be considered. One thing to think about, and I haven't done any of this, I may regret that I even said this at some point, is that we may have space in the adult probation to put a staff-only restroom. And if there was a way that we could do that and keep the wall there and keep that separation provided, potentially in the restroom, cutting a hole is the easiest thing, the easiest way to fix this to get access, which you can see there's security issues, concern, there's door issues, existing framing that would have to get adjusted. I think last time I walked through the adult probation, I think there was one office that wasn't even being used. And, we might go to put a restroom in that.
Well, Mr. Jones, the contractor, said that he got the diagram from the city where the sewerage and they're right over against that wall from that end building.
Okay.
He said just to attach them would be very simple on that thing, but,
Well, if you might do some investigation on it, maybe we can talk to him and come up with a way to lay out two single occupant ADA restrooms in it.
well, he said it'd be a lot cheaper than doing this also, but, and I can't we're gonna have, I don't understand what the thinking is, but I'm probably missing the boat. Why, we're gonna have that WIT building, I guess, the corner building, without any restrooms? Somebody's gotta put a restroom in there. I don't know what the thinking is. It's something that we're not gonna be able to avoid.
I think at this point, that particular building is just, the intent would just give it an exterior facelift.
Right.
And then future, it's an eyesore to get right down to it.
Right.
And at this point, I don't even know what the county's planning on doing with that building, but it can be finished out with anything we want to do in it.
Right. I don't either.
There's not a problem in that corner bill, because one thing we got to know is where, Richard, I remember Richard saying we could find out and see where everything's at, but we're talking about that inner wall. I don't know, maybe he's looked at some plans or something like that, but there wasn't any sewage. All the sewage was on that, what I call west wall of the adult probation corner building.
He hadn't bothered, he didn't know about in the adult probation. He kind of thought, maybe he's just thinking out loud. He didn't say, yeah, he thinks that kind of there might be one about where that doorway might be availability of sewage and stuff. Where the
He said he had a deal, he could run
space is space, he said you'd have to get a camera, but he didn't,
Well, we might also want to look even on the annex side. It seems like the restroom would be more internal to the building. I don't remember seeing anything on that west side.
oh, okay. He didn't even think.
There's water and sewage on that, what I call west wall of the adult probation. If we've got one sewage system in there, that's when they take drug testing.
Well, we could get water, obviously getting water to the restroom on the east side of the building or anywhere in there would not be a problem to do that overhead. Getting drainage out there would be a little more challenging.
To me, the sewage system would be the,
I think we should, I recommend that we table this and talk about it some more.
Well,
Yeah, and you can go over there, if, y'all like to meet with me and the contractor over there, just walk through and say, what if we did this, that kind of thing.
I think that would probably be on our best benefit to do that.
I'm a little confused about the logic of cutting that hole. I don't know, there's got to be a reason that I don't know, that the judge wants to do that. I can't imagine, but I like to make sure. Haste,
That's, I mean, it's just something to look at, I guess, just to see what we had to go through to get it done, but
It's not so much the hole, it's everything else.
everything else to go with it.
other
Yeah.
stuff.
Security, accessibility,
Right.
those are the
Right.
But we might just need to go look at going to the other side.
renovation work, demo.
I mean, this,
So as far as the hole is concerned, think demolition, security, accessibility,
ADA,
existing finishes, demolition of the doorways and stuff like that.
okay, have a motion to table it,
right.
to research this and look into it more. Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a second? Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay. Glenn, thank you very much.
Thank you, Glenn.
Thank you, Glenn. Thank you.
Okay, item 5, it says discuss and possibly take action on this assisting adjacent property owner next to the annex with a drainage issue. He called and he wanted to table this. James said he kept putting it off, but he only got one quote and he thought he'd have 2 or 3. So he wanted to table that till the next meeting or some meeting in the future. So do I have a motion to table that, number 5?
I make a motion, we table it.
Got a motion, second?
Second.
Got a second? Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay. Okay, item 6, public hearing for Titus County Clerk's Office Record Archives, a plan for FY 2017. Joan?
Proposal that I'm getting for the, this is just a copy. I didn't print the original if y'all can adopt it, for your signature. This is something that we do every year with the records archive money that the statutes have put in place to preserve all of our old records. And this year, I would like to, during fiscal year 2014 and 2015, 27 volumes were restored. They were, the tape was taken off the pages. They were deacidified. They were put in waterproof covers and then rebound. But they were digitized. However, the process was not completed because they are not searchable by last name or by the type of record nor by date. They are in our system, but you would have to have the book, volume, and page before you can search for them. So I kind of need to go back and clean this up before we continue to go forward with the books that are 100 years old.
Now, I think we had, basically, we're saying we're calling for a public hearing right now. Does anybody have anything else to say about this?
This is just something that the legislature has recommended and has put in place an extra fee for current records that are being recorded now, so that we may go back and some of these books are in terrible shape. They're unbound, basically, because the backs have fallen off of them, the spines have fallen off of them, and in order to preserve our history, we need to do this.
Okay. Well, this is the public hearing part. Anybody would like to say anything? Okay, there's no action on that, so item 7 is an action item, and it says consider possibly approve order to adopt records archives plan. Joan, are you recommending it for us to adopt this? Okay.
I believe that we need to go back and finish the project that was started so that these will be completely searchable.
Okay.
Make a motion, we approve this on Jones' recommendation.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Item A, consider possibly approve contract for Titus County remote access with the Department of State Health Service, DSHS, Vital Statistic Unit. Joan?
Could be back here. Let's see. This is the contract. Every year we do this for remote access for records for the state of Texas. And there's a fee attached which they assess monthly based on what I do, what me and other girls do download that are from other counties in the state of Texas. We do this every year, and it's just a contract that will need to judge signature. I'm just bringing it before you so you may approve it.
Okay. motion?
I make a motion, we approve it.
Okay. Got a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Got a second? Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, item 9, consider and possibly approve pauper's funeral for Gary Police.
Judge left that for you to read, and that's the information.
That last guy, that name is Police?
Police.
That's a great name. John Police. We got Tim Police.
Okay, the paperwork has been filled out. Basically what, he did not have any assets or anything like this. There are some family members, but they say they do not have the finances to pay for it. I believe a pauper's funeral is $950.
I'll make a motion, we approve it.
Got a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a second? Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, passes. All right, item 10. Philip, if you would, that's consider and possibly approve lowering the speed limit on County Road 1835 from 40 miles per hour to 35 miles per hour. Philip?
I had several people call me about this, and they continue to have a lot of people walking up and down that road. The traffic, they just asked if it could be lowered. Several of them about got hit out there. And I'm just asking the court to approve me to lower the speed limit on this road to 35 miles an hour.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I make a motion.
Got a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Got a second? Any
Second.
other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, item 11, consider possible approve travel and seminars of Titus County employees and elected officials. Okay, first one is Tim, okay, and his dispatchers, Bryson and Knox, to go to a conference. It's in Smith County. And the total cost of meal is $20 per day, total of $120. And total cost of what we're looking at, I think the mandatory training and also the fuel to go back and forth, I think is $120. And the $20 meal. Tim, how long is that? 2 days, 3 days?
2 days.
Oh, yeah. The 13th through the 15th. 13th, 14th, and 15th, 3 days. 3 days. Okay. All right, another one is legal assistance, Robertson. This is John Mark, Coburn's office. Destination San Antonio, criminal justice. Cost of restoration is free, $40 per day per diem. Total cost of hotel, motel accommodation is $451.82. And they're going in a personal car. But That's John Mark's office. Then the next one is Tim's office, Miller, records clerk, evidence tech. Be October the 24th to October the 25th. Cost of registration, $195. Total cost of meal is $80 for 2 days. Total cost of hotel motel is $204.70. Be going in a county vehicle. Deborah Abston, the district clerk's office, will be going to Fort Worth December the 6th to December the 8th. Cost of restaurant is $0. Total cost of meal is $40 per day, be $120. We'll be carpooling, or no, carpooling. Approximately total cost of travel is $160.92. Total of going is $695.52, and this is Deborah. Sheraton Radar, Deputy District Clerk in Deborah's office. She'd also be going to this date of actual travel is 6th to 8th. Cost of restoration is $300. Total cost of meals $120. Be carpooling. Approximately cost of training is $420. And that's it. That's all I have.
I make a motion we approve travel.
I got a motion. Got a second. Got a second. Philip, any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay. Oral and written reports of county officials.
Thank you, Carl.
Thank you.
Got both.
Make a motion to approve oral and written reports.
Got a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Got a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All aye. All opposed? Okay. Pass it. Okay, item 13, consider and possibly approve treasurer report.
Thank you. Where's my note?
I make a motion we approve the treasurer's report.
Okay, got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Passes. Do we have any budget amendments? Don't have any budget amendments. Okay, item 15.
Make a motion with pair of bills.
Okay, got a motion to pay our bills. Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a second? Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Closing comments, county judges, commissioners. Mr. Riddles, we'll start with you.
None?
The only thing I have is, we all, I guess it was last week before, we found our total reimbursements from FEMA. And I got a hold of Drake, they had the contract or the low bid on that, laying down asphalt and stuff. And they're supposed to start that on, we got some roads where we got culverts that wash plumb away and the road's gone. And they'll be coming in and doing that the second week in September, I believe, is when they said they had it scheduled. But anyway, that's just part of it. You have to wait on till you find out exactly what they're going to pay for and what they're not. But anyway, that will be happening here in September. Philip?
I have nothing.
Jimmy?
I have nothing, Judge.
Okay. Do I?
One on the back of hers for you to sign.
Wait just a minute, we've got to sign, do some paperwork here right quick.
There you go.
Joe get it signed?
Yeah, we got to sign.
All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
I got a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a second? Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Thank everybody for being here today.